talking about, as you can see by that thumbnail right there, indubitably, right? Orderly, there's movies, right? The heavy influence of the gangster film, right? Now, as you see by that thumbnail, there's some real gangster ass flicks right there. You know what I mean? Orderly, Boys in the Hood. You know what I mean? We got a problem? Orderly, I said, do we got a problem? Right? Menace to Society, yes. Old Dog was the craziest brother alive, right? Casino, Goodfellas, Scarface. Hey, man. Hey, I don't like no fucking Colombians, man. I do, but I'm just saying, right? And then, of course, you got other movies like American Me, Blood In, Blood Out, so on and so forth. There's a lot of movies that didn't make the cut. Utterly New Jack, Hustler, New Jack City. You know what I mean? The King of New York. The list can go on and on and on and on. Felon, Shot Caller. You know what I mean? We could sit here all day talking about gangster movies, Menace to Society. Orale. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, what type of influence did these movies have on gangbanging in the 80s, 90s, so on and so forth, right? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, when the Menudo started, it had a big impact on my motherfucking life. Orderly, I remember the first time that I fucking seen American Me. Ain't nobody talking when I'm talking, fellas, so shut the fuck. I shut the fuck right up. And I was hooked, right? Orale, Miklo, right? When I seen Blood In, Blood Out. There's not many of these gangster movies that we can't sit here and fucking tell you word for word the whole story, the whole get down and narrate it right up to par, right? Tell me you don't sit down and watch Scarface and say every word for word. You know, marijuana, I got 2,500. You know what I mean? Everybody knows. You know, watch out yourself, Frank, I'm retired. I got to look out for my investments, right? We all got to look out for our fucking investments. These had a big impact, these gangster movies. Now, when Boys in the Hood came out, it was a little something different. I think that was the very first gangster movie that I seen that I was actually like, whoa, what the fuck? They're actually giving a voice to South Central LA. They're actually showing how it really is. And being from up north in Northern California, it kind of blew my mind because up until that time, I didn't really know what was going on down south. I hadn't seen the gangsterism of Southern California. So when I seen that shit, I was like, orderly pues, right? Orderly colors, right? I was like, damn, the gangbanging is real. You know, it was movies like Boys in the Hood, Colors, Menace to Society that really showed me what Southern California was all about. And then, of course, when American Me and Blood In, Blood Out came out, then it was showing me the Chicano estilo, the brown side of town. Orale. And I really was influenced then because I was like, well, these are people that look like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking finger, right? And I was like, okay, I'm on now. I'm on, right? A lot of these movies had a big impact in my life and influenced me heavily. And I'm sure not only myself, but a lot of gangsters, a lot of people who at least thought they were gangsters or lived in that 90s era. Now, I remember in the 90s era, it was cracking. It was cracking. One thing I will say, and probably the movie that had the biggest impact ever was Colors. Okay, when Colors fucking came out, I don't give a fuck what planet you were on, where you were from. It could have been Iowa. Everybody thought they were Crips and Bloods. I remember right after watching the movie, all the homeboys went out to the calle like, hey, we're the Crips. No, we're the Bloods. Come on, let's go at it, right? No one even knew how serious it really was. Everyone just knew they wanted to be a part of what they seen. The way that they showed in these movies, it was not outlandish because it was real. It was raw and real. But it made youngsters, it influenced their mind to think that they could be that, even though they were not from that struggle. Okay? Why this would have a twist on people's minds and want to influence them like that, I don't know. But it did myself. You know, I definitely was all in. When I seen American Me, that's when I really started to think to myself, fuck, cause I don't want to bend over and cough. I don't want nothing in my asshole, right? Fuck that, right? And that's exactly how that was. Okay? But I knew what time it was, right? I started to grow up. I started to realize that Hollywood put a little tapatio on it. They changed things with this movie or with these movies. You know, their target audience was the youth, believe it or not. It wasn't just a movie for entertainment value to watch. There was a message there. The message was you could be Doe Boy. You could be Ricky, right? You could be whoever you wanted to be. But they leaned heavily on gangbanging. You know, they leaned heavily there. Excuse me if I cough. I'm a little under the weather right now. I know you can tell because I still look fly. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Anyways, And that's just how it was. Now, of course, Scarface being from the 80s, that movie, I remember the first time, trip out, I got a scar over my eye. You want to see it? Look, I don't even got no eyebrow. That scar, I'll never forget that scar. So trip out. I'll tell you guys the little story, how that shit affected my life. Other than Scarface. My jefito, my dad, him and my mom, what they used to do on the late night, man, is after they put the kids to sleep, man, they'd kick back, they'd watch a good movie, you know what I mean? That's when they ate all the good fucking snacks and shit, right? I'd smell the popcorn cooking. I'm like, shoot, where was my issue at, right? Separate mine from yours, Dad, right? Jack in the Box, Carl's Jr., late night, you know what I mean? Kids, all we got was a couple fucking bean burritos and a slap on our ass, and that was that, right? But anyway, so me and my little brother, we used to post up in the hallway. We had the direct linea to the TV, and my dad was over here, so he couldn't see us, right? My jefita, she'd be busy in the kitchen doing her thing, right? So I'd be like, fuck it, Holmes. I'm going to kick it right here. Orale, what is this, Scarface, right? Usually it was porn, but now it's Scarface. Orale, Scarface, right? So I'm posted right there. Say hello to my... I'm like, oh, this is the shit. Me and my little brother, we're little kids, right? And my dad yelled. He must have heard us. I think I farted or something, right? Hey! And I jumped up. At this time, I had a water bed. Remember the old school water beds? You know what I mean? With the big old wooden back. And I took off running, and I jumped. I did the Superman, and I hit my motherfucking eye on the wood. Split my whole shit, right? Didn't get to finish Scarface, right? Got my ass whooped when I got back from getting stitches. It was just a bad situation all the way around, but I'll never forget how that shit impacted my life forever. Orale, Al Pacino, you owe me, bitch, right? And that's just what it was. Now, there was movies, one of my favorite movies of all times that had a big, heavy influence on my life was Goodfellas. Okay, Goodfellas showed me not to trust anybody in life. You know, Goodfellas was one of those movies that you watch it and you like the gangsterism in it. You like Joe Pesci. Orale, pinche Joe Pesci. Do I look like a fucking clown? Do I amuse you, right? But at the same time, it shows you that your own camaradas, your own homeboys are to be not trusted, you know? No one's to be trusted. Your own motherfucking homeboys will turn their back on you, right? And that's what I got out of that movie. You know, I took the movies as myself as a youngster, man, and utilized what bits and pieces I could out of these movies to impact my life. You know what I mean? To how I was going to be a gangbanger. How I was going to be I was in for a penny, in for a pound. That's it, right? I was already, pounds? You got pounds? Allegedly. I was already in the mix, right? So to me, it was kind of like, you know, let me see what this shit's all about. And I'm going to use this, you know, for myself. I said, I'm going to be a little bit of old dog mixed with a little bit of Joe Pesci, a whole lot of Doughboy, and a little bit of motherfucking High Top. Orale, mama knows, right? Only, you know, High Top when he's not a weirdo, right? And bang, bang. And that's what it was, right? But these movies had a big impact on a lot of other people's lives, not just my own. And I seen it. Like I said, when Colors came out, everybody was gangbanging. Everybody thought they were a Crip or a Blood. And then, of course, you know, everyone always makes references. All this music, you know, it trips me out, man, because you hear all this rap music and everyone makes references to Scarface. They make references to the American Gangsters. They make references to O-Dog. They make references to Doughboy. You know, all these different gang members that were in these movies, people reference them in their songs because they had an impact in their life. We looked at these guys as the ultimate gangsters, the ultimate gangbangers, and these were characters portrayed in Hollywood. When Dead Presidents came out, look at the statistics. I said everybody wanted to hit a bank. Everybody wanted to hit a lick. Yeah, motherfuckers in Halloween painting their faces. You know what I mean? Hey, I seen a dude, he was like, look, that's me from fucking there. I said, did you know that was a hyena? What? Yes, whopping home. Yeah, exactly. Get out of here, Cheeto hole, right? There's a lot of different things that impacted people's lives, right? To this day, I have a homeboy, he says he don't like Colombians. I'm like, why? You don't even know any, right? I don't fucking like Colombians, man. I'm like, come on, man, stop it, right? I got another homeboy that got "The world is yours" tattooed. The world ain't mine, bitch, right? Says, yeah, I wish, but it ain't, right? I got another homeboy named his kid after Tony Montana. Facts. If I'm lying, I'm dying, right? Rest in peace to the homeboy, man. You know what it is, right? I got a lot of, it had a big impact on our culture. Okay, Blood In, Blood Out continues to have an impact on our culture. American Me continues to have an impact on our culture. You know, it opened the eyes of a lot of people into seeing the underworld, into seeing things behind that they would have never seen. Behind, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. You know what I mean? They got to see some things. Hey, let me tell you, I'd rather watch fucking American Me than Wizard of Oz. I said, you know what I mean? Orale, you want to see a cowardly lion? Or do you see one a motherfucker? Strike that. Reverse it. No, I'd rather watch the Cowardly Lion. Anyways, It's just different. You know, it's just different the way that these movies had an impact on our lives. A lot of people, you know, will sit here and tell you, nah, gun, you got it fucked up, bro. You know what I mean? And we'll have a lot of debate on what's the best movie. Orale Casino. You know what I mean? The best part of that movie, keep it real, the best part of that movie was when Sharon Stone's giving fucking Joe Pesci a mamon. He was like, I'll be your sponsor. I'll be your sponsor. I'll be your sponsor. Mamon, right? That's the best part of that movie. I don't know, man. I can't call it like an alcoholic. To me, that's the best part, right? You know, there's a lot of different movies, and I take a lot of bits and pieces from each movie, and I'll never forget. Last night, I was watching the movie Felon. For those of you that remember the movie Felon, you know, it's a cold movie because it's fictitious, but at the same time, Holmes, that really did happen. Them incidences really did happen. The gladiator wars, the shoe wars in Corcoran, you know, people really lived that. You know, Boxer from Paradigm Media, shouts out. He went through that in real life. You know, he actually was involved in them shoe wars. There's people here on YouTube that do and can tell you that were involved in those shoe wars. So when they made a movie about it, although it being a fictitious movie and they put a character in there, there are people that had to actually live that and go through that. It's a trip. Then you have movies like Shot Caller, man. It's one of my favorite all-time movies. Why? Because I think it was probably the closest to being accurate as far as a lot of the things I've seen. And just the whole get down of how a man's life can go from one thing to another, just change and switch up, you know. It's just, to me, it's very it's eye-opening. You know, it's an eye-opening experience to see how people's lives can be impacted by one little thing and just change drastically and dramatically. You know, I do know it's Hollywood. I know Hollywood likes to put tapateo. They like to put a little tap on it, right? One time for your mind, a little chile. But at the same time, Holmes, you know what I mean? A lot of these movies are what people base what they got going on. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. So, you know, you need to, if you've not watched any of these movies that are on the thumbnail, you've not had the time to sit down and binge watch some of these movies, maybe they're not for you, maybe it's not your stilo. They're very eye-opening into the mind of what gangsters are and to what gangsters are supposedly supposed to be and to the realities, the harsh realities of the barrio and the hoods. You know, that's what I took from it. You know, a lot of it's fucking outlandish. It's too much. You put a lot on it. But at the same time, man, it does open the eyes of the people, you know. Anyways, I just wanted to speak on it, man. You know, what impact did it have on you? Leave a comment. Let me know which was your favorite movie. Mine, to be totally honest with you, out of all these movies, was Goodfellas. Why? I'm going to tell you right now. Fucking real. What's it? Sasuke? It's just my favorite. I always wanted to be a gangster, right? I just love that movie. It's one of the best movies of all time. Of course, you think I would say Blood In, Blood Out. Think I would say American Me, but Charlie's almost Goodfellas it is. You know, let me know what your favorite movie is, and we'll just go from there, right? With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. I hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, it's all about struggling, striving for your familia. Go out there and do it for your family. Ain't no one else going to do it for you. Just go out there and get it for reals. Get with it. You know what I mean? If you like this, please hit that like and subscribe with a thumbs up. If not, you can hit that thumbs down. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to struggle and strive for what I truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people coming together for unity. Black and brown, you know what it is. Black and brown. Brothers and Latinos united, divided, we ride it. Orale!